I mentally become successful before I physically become disciplined. Assalamu alaikum, beautiful souls. If you have been following me since the beginning, then you have probably seen this pattern already. I'll suddenly become super active. Daily uploads, daily stories, content ideas everywhere. Planning, posting, talking about goals, and then लाइफ में कोई एक मुसीबत आई नहीं कि पुफ I disappear. Sometimes it's because of something genuinely serious, like my accident, health issues, exam stress, mental exhaustion. And sometimes I disappear for reasons that don't even look big from outside. And that used to confuse me a lot because it's not like I don't have ambition. In fact, I think Allah has blessed me with too many interests. Alhamdulillah, skills bhi diye hai, ideas bhi, vision bhi. I know what I want. I know what kind of life I am trying to build, what kind of content I want to create, what kind of work I want to do, how I want to help people. I literally have everything written somewhere: plans, structures, video ideas, programs, goals, future visions, everything. Blueprint पूरा ready होता है, but performance zero. And for the longest time, I kept asking myself why. Because it's not laziness. Trust me, it's not. And I realized something very strange about myself recently. Whenever I get an idea, I execute maybe 10% of it practically, but the remaining 90% that happens inside my head mentally. I imagine the future version completely: the videos, consistency, growth, routine, healed version of me, and of course, the successful version of me. Sometimes I mentally live the next 10 days, sometimes the next 10 months, kabhi kabhi the next 10 years bhi. And the weird part is, by the time it's actually time to sit down and do the work physically, my brain already feels tired, as if it already worked, as if it already lived the experience. And then suddenly, even simple tasks start feeling heavy. And I think a lot of people will relate to this, especially people who overthink a lot, people who are imaginative, emotionally intense, visionary type personalities. Your brain consumes the future emotionally before your body even enters action. And I think that's the missing link nobody talks about. Our minds are usually stuck in two places, either the past or the future. Past में regret है, future में fantasy है. But action only exists in the present moment. And that sounds very simple when you hear it, but implementing it is genuinely difficult. Because sometimes showing up online starts feeling less like expression and more like performance. And I don't think people talk enough about performance anxiety on social media, especially when you genuinely care about your work. Because for me, inconsistency doesn't mean I'm doing nothing. That's another thing people don't see. I'm actually very consistent behind the scenes. I study, I write, reflect, plan sessions, think deeply, observe people, I learn, and I work on ideas quietly. But the moment it becomes posting, uploading, and showing up publicly, something changes mentally in me. Now suddenly there's pressure. What if it flops? What if I disappear again after this? What if I can't maintain consistency? What if this version of me also fades away? And then the pressure of showing up becomes heavier than the actual work itself. Maybe some of you relate to this too. Like you're not incapable, you're just mentally exhausted from carrying too many unfinished versions of yourself. And I think I'm finally understanding that consistency is not really about motivation. It's more about staying emotionally present long enough to take small actions repeatedly, without mentally jumping 5 years ahead, without turning every goal into an identity crisis, without making every upload feel like a final judgment of your worth. And I'm saying this video publicly because I want to hold myself accountable too. Not in the new era type way, but genuinely. I don't want to keep disappearing every time life becomes emotionally uncomfortable. Because life will always have something: stress, health, mood shifts, unexpected problems. There will never be a perfect time where the mind suddenly becomes silent and disciplined forever. And maybe maturity is learning how to continue imperfectly instead of restarting perfectly every few months. So, yeah, this is me admitting it. I have been inconsistent, And I also don't think inconsistency means someone is hopeless. Sometimes it just means their inner world is louder than their actions. And they need systems, support, grounding, and accountability. Which is honestly one reason why one on one sessions help people so much too. Not because someone magically fixes your life, but because when another human being helps you process your patterns, break overwhelm into smaller actions, and stay accountable, things start moving. Sometimes clarity is not the issue, execution is. And if you have been struggling with that too, I want you to comment down one thing, just one, something you have been planning to do for a very long time, but inconsistency keeps interrupting. Maybe reading Quran consistently, starting a channel, going to therapy, studying, healing, working out, learning something, anything. And maybe this comment becomes a small promise to yourself, not for perfection, just for presence. Anyway, thank you for listening to this very unfiltered conversation. I think I needed to say this out loud. Assalamu alaikum.